Hello, everybody, and welcome to another My Music. I hope you're feeling frisky or just plain human, wherever you are and whatever it is that you're doing right now. But if you're doing Excel spreadsheets right now, stop it, because we have none of that whilst we're talking music. You can just stop it for a bit. If you're in the office, sneaking this in, while you're pretending to work, good on you. It's good for your brain. It's good for your brain. Just tell them that if they catch you. Okay. I'll be speaking to Kate, aka Rose Haze, in a minute. But first, the dancing cat, which everybody loves.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Love that. Always love that. It just gets you going in the middle of the afternoon. I feel like at some point I just need to get a little drum machine here. I have got like a little controller keyboard at the top. Just go because I can, really. How are you, Kate?
Oh, I'm just lovely. Thank you for asking. I just ordered a drum machine actually yesterday.
Oh, really? What, like a new one or an old state one?
A Drum Brute Noir. I forget the name, the exact title. Arturia Drum Brute.
So quite a new one.
Times. Drum Brute.
Yeah. Do you know what I remember? I'm old enough, Kate, to remember drum machines when they first came out.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I only want to use the Lindrum. So I'm going to figure out how to do that on my own because I don't want to wait on anybody. So I'm just going to do it myself.
What's the drum machine for then? Are you just you using this live when you're doing stuff or
and that's another reason I decided to go ahead and get a little machine because I like this one. And I might use it live. But the intention right now is to get in and finish these tracks I've been sitting on.
Right.
So mostly
that's really why you bought it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Yes. I'm just thinking. Look, you have to excuse me. Sometimes I have a funny 5 minutes while I'm doing these, and I get creative. But fine. I would love someday, like a serious artist, to do on a drum machine in the middle of a set, almost like a drum solo, like you used to get from like the rock pantheons, but just on a drum machine. It would be so underwhelming, but it would be great. Like,
I actually knew a guy. He didn't do that. In New Orleans that got really into it, and I was fascinated by him. It was a good friend of mine in the end. I was just so enthralled in his button pushing.
Yeah, we had an artist on here. If you go towards the top of my Instagram, there's an interview with an artist that I did here, and she does like competitive, I don't know what you call it really, sort of beating on a thing. It's great. I mean, I think actually if you're really, they tend to have quite big machines, so they have like lots of different panels and whatever, so they can do sounds and layers and whatever. But it's great. It's almost like, do you know what it's like? It's almost like watching someone do a Rubik's Cube as well. I actually had the European champion of the Rubik's Cube come on and do an interview with me once. And that was fascinating. When you watch these guys, because they study it first, they get so much time in front of the cube to kind of study it. You think, right. So it's all muddled up, right? The judges and whatever, they muddle it up and they put it on a plinth, and then the people that are going to compete get to go around and look at it. They've got so much time to study it, and then they have to do it. But they're like, done. It's just mad.
Yeah, that's pretty fascinating. That's one that I can do like the one color, and I think I can get two colors. That's as far as I've ever, which I felt successful about.
Are you right? Are there any parallels? Because this is a lovely thing to talk about. Are there any parallels between the way you would approach doing something like a Rubik's Cube and the way that you approach music? Because I'm like you. I'd get really enthusiastic and do the whole of a first face, right? And then I'd get like a whole first face, and then I'd get like another side, and then I'd start getting like.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going through right now, because I have 3 albums that are one's done. It's for my other world, not Rose Haze world, but the other 2, we can get into why a little bit, but it's the fun part of discovering, okay, it feels easier to do side 1 and 2, right? And then it gets more difficult to finish the rest. So I'm at the point to me where it's difficult, because it's the technical, the arranging and the painting and the creating and the writing's done. So now it's technical. It's like, okay, it's like the drum beat. I don't want to do that part. I used to have Ruben do that, right? So now I'm like, who do I trust with this? Should I just do it myself? Okay, now I got to go in and learn how to sound design my Lindrum kick and sound design my snare. And I'm like, can I just write a new song?
So here's the thing, right? Your drum machine that you're just about to buy, it's like, let you see, look, I've got props. It's like this pair of pliers. Right? Yeah, because what's happening now is you're at the stage where you almost want like with the Rubik's Cube, you just want to prise the blocks off, put it all together, push it back together again, and go, look, I've done it.
Or behind a curtain, pass it to someone who knows what they're doing, and just have it magically done.
That's nice.
For not too much money. Now that could work too. I would cheat. I would pass it off to the right person.
Is it cheating?
Not, I guess at that point, as long as you give them the credit for the 4 other sides.
Yeah, it's just collaboration, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really is. If you don't mind talking about Ruben, because you mentioned to me, Ruben, when I said to you, one of the things that inspired me to talk to you was the fact that you'd actually covered a Cocteau Twins song, because look, it's risky. It's risky. It's more than risky. It's brave, beyond brave, because if there's a band that are put on a pedestal for all the right reasons,
I agree.
It's the Cocteau Twins, right?
I agree.
It's a bit like someone doing, and I've seen it done badly, but it's a bit like someone doing The Cure as well. It's just like
and that's so the cover. Such an interesting thing. So you asked about Ruben. I was like, we've never done a cover, and the reason I mean, such a long story. I'm trying to find a linear way to explain this without going into too many tangents. But Ruben was really close to me, and we lost him last year. So the weird thing about that is we got the mix for that song back the day he passed away. And it was kind of it was like, I had this idea in 2024 when we came into that year that I was like, I'm going to make this about Ruben. Like, kind of like, I'm sick of looking at my face in my music videos. It's like, it's my project, right, that I came to him with. And he just had such a great sound. I hired him as a bassist. And then he's like, well, I also play guitar. And I said, we'll bring everything. And once he played his pedal board and did his guitar thing, I was like, okay, we're finding a bassist. Like, this is what you do best. Great bassist too. I mean, he could do anything.
But it's him doing all that Robin Guthrie
so
stuff.
That's his guitar work.
Wow.
That's his guitar work. Because when I met him, I was like, holy crap, Robin Guthrie. And I was like, this is great. Because I remember having a specific vision in Greece. I was on the island of Crete, and I was just, I don't know, it's a long story then too, but I was listening to Cocteau Twins incessantly in this old tavern that had this great reverb. And I was just singing along. I was like, I want this band. Like, I want this kind of a thing. And year or so later, I made my way to California. I met Ruben. I was like, there it is. So once we got going for a couple of years, this is high COVID time. I mean, we were just sort of doing what we could. And fast forward to when I said, let's do a Cocteau Twins cover. And we didn't want to do Heaven or Las Vegas. We wanted to do like I like Wax and Wayne. I mean, we wanted to do like older 80s stuff even.
Right. Yeah. Victoria Land or something like that.
Yeah.
Stuff,
And
right,
but I was like, and he certainly didn't want to do Heaven or Las Vegas. But I was like, but hey, if we're gonna do a cover with the intention of, you know, I'm like, we could do another one later, but I think for studio cut, let's do, I mean, Heaven or Las Vegas is a great track.
It is a great track, and
It's a great track.
And it's accessible because people know it.
Exactly. Right. And that was sort of the line of thinking. I said, Ruben, I go, let's see what happens. I go, we don't have to commit to this, but go cut what you want to cut. And I wanted to make it drastically different. Like, not to the point of losing, you know, very good, but different, right? And then, but I said, but first, try to just do what you hear. I'm like, play the song the way it's played. The way you do it, and let's just hear how that sounds before we make any crazy direction with this. And I said, just give it a little bit more of a oomphy beat maybe, and let's just start there. And when he sent those tracks back, I thought, I'll just sing along to this and put a little sparkly synth on it, and it was like, there, that's it. We're not going to deviate.
Didn't need much more. No, right?
No. And I said, let's just not deviate. And I go, you know, people will receive this how they receive it, but we like it. And that was kind of what we decided to do. And so it was a cute thing. And I'm just so bummed he never got to hear it. So then at that time, it was like, it was so hard for me to put that song out because well, in a way it was like actually very cathartic and healing, but it was so hard to like, that was an interesting point in my life because it was a point of starting this long journey of grief because he and I were like, I mean, and that's why I'm still waiting on the right collaborator. So I'm kind of keeping it. No, I'm open to it now. I would say I'm on the other side of it, you know, and now I'm going out and touring again. I've been doing it sort of solo and doing.
But I've got to say, Kate, what a headstone for somebody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Would you rather someone brought you a slab of greyness and stuck it in the ground, right? Or would you rather that they went that song?
And that's kind of, it's such a theme now. Like I never thought this song would have, like I kind of thought, well, let's release it and like move past it and hope it goes well.
Like, no, you can't.
And now it's like, it became this like theme of like, you know, and so in a way it's like, it's such a cool thing. And so I'm glad that we captured that and that, you know, he lives on through those tracks that we produced and did.
Can I ask you a question? Has Robin or Liz heard it?
You know, I did reach out to all three of them. And here's the thing. Ruben told me that, and this could be not true, but he thinks that the bass actually was done by Robin as well. But I did reach out to Simon too.
Yeah. I
got in touch with Simon and he said it didn't play right because I had like a snippet. And so I sent him the full thing and then I didn't hear anything back from him. So just kind of let that one go. And I did send it up to Liz's management and I tried to hit up Robin, but I didn't hear anything from them.
Okay. Well, I know Robin's PR company. So I might send it to them to listen to.
I would love that. I would love nothing more than that, but you know.
No, and I'll see what she can do. All right. And then I'll let you know. That's okay. Because I'd love Robin to, you know, bless you with that.
Yeah, totally.
Just if nothing else, just to, you know, I think it's beautiful. Let's talk about your music.
Sure.
You like a lot of artists these days, you don't conform to anything, which is which is great. But you've got your feet in every kind of sound that I absolutely adore. You know, I mean, when I like starting to listen to you, I was thinking, here's all of the great contemporary artists that I love as well. I mean, there's a bit of Soccer Mummy in there, and there's a bit of this, but then there's like some of the old bands that I grew up with in the 90s, that some of which I did really bad sound for at their gigs.
Oh, cute.
And yeah, so it was. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, I do.
It's just you've got you know, all of these reference points. You're big listener of music?
Oh, totally.
Right. Yeah. Is that part of the problem when it then comes to the finishing off and the writing? Are you kind of like got too many reference points at times or not?
Oh gosh, that is my hardest thing is, at one point I thought, well, this is back in the Ruben days where I kind of got because I was always a musician. And then I was like, okay, I need to maybe think about business a little bit here. And so I kind of trained my brain to kind of think in those terms. I came to California, had that kind of like, okay, maybe, with the way the internet works, the way labels work, that we should, let's make an album that sounds like an album, start to front, in the vein of Cocteau Twins sort of sound. And so that's what I'm still sitting on even. But even then it's like, if I had a project for every album I made, then I would have like 30 projects. It's like, it is interesting to be your own producer too, because I did work with Jeff Schroeder of the Pumpkins he's moved on from that, but he helped me with a couple tracks, and we were talking about doing the whole album with Ruben as well. But so anyway, the point is Jeff's gonna help me with one song, but then everything else is kind of up to me to I could pitch it to people and get producers, but I don't know if I want that. It's like, so I do think about a little bit like, what shape do I want to give this set of music? And then I just kind of make decisions. And if they change, I move something over here. Like I have a couple songs where, like, I'm working on 2 albums right now. I had a distinct different idea of the second batch being a lot more raw and like more dark folky, like Chelsea Wolfe kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, what if I just put them all together and I'll produce them in this kind of more dream poppy thing? Because you can take anything and make it something else if you really want. And then I went back on that. I'm like, no, I want to separate them again. So, it's just sort of like, I've done enough sitting with them, and that's kind of why I like to kind of just go in and cut it and be done.
Okay, it sounds to me like you can produce yourself, right? You can produce yourself.
Yeah.
But sounds to me somewhere in there like you're not giving yourself enough credit for your own ability to do you need someone? Is this what you need right now? Do you need someone at this point in your career who's literally gonna just allow you to produce yourself, but sit there and go, right, you can do that. You might not think you can do that, but I'm going to show you how to do that, and just get on and do it.
Basically, yeah, because at this point, it's like Ruben and I pretty much did our own stuff. And then when I decided I wanted to work with Jeff because I wanted to try and it was a different kind of thing. I was like, actually, I'm kind of ready to sort of just let someone give me some guardrails. Here's the ideas. Here's what we want. Jeff works in that vein anyway. I like what he does. It makes sense, and kind of relieve myself of some of that so I could just keep, you know what I mean? And then when Jeff's still around, like I said, but things shift, and I'm at the point now where I'm like, I can do these things. It just comes down to time and where I want to spend my time. It's like, I like creating and arranging and producing to an extent, but at a certain point I want to pass that off. So I might just learn that piece of it and get it all together myself. But I just love, I can go in so many directions that I kind of need that person to say, it's done.
Yep.
And that's the collaboration piece that I want. It's not so much more I want to redesign your songs and make it sound like, someone else made it. It's more like, can someone give me a stopper? Because
I understand this. It's totally how I work with people, right?
Yeah.
In my day-to-day, in my business, that's how I work with people. I work with people that have got ideas, have got, they know the flavor of what they want to do or whatever, but for some reason that they've just lost the to finish stuff or get it over the line or whatever. And my way of coaching, if you like, or whatever, is rather than just sit there and go, now what you need to do is this, I just get on and do it, and I just go, right, that bit's done now. The bit that was sticking, that bit's done. right? Now, and that's what it looks like. And now, you know, and sometimes when you get someone if you get someone in the right space that will just take the little bit of lifting and just put it in the right space, then everything just moves forward quickly again, because you just like, oh, I'm over that bit now. Great.
Yeah. Well, and that's just the great thing of having one other person to kind of bounce things off, really. Because I'm pretty good at putting in stoppers for certain things, but it's like if I put out a Cocteau Twins song and then I put out that electronic, more gothy song,
right.
And find somewhere in between, that's really what I want to achieve. And so if I stick with that on this end, but then I also have this other album that's a little bit different, and I'm ready to release them back to back. And I'm like, do I lose my audience in that? But I don't even think like that anymore. I was thinking like that a few years ago. I don't even. It's just more so like having the right tools, and now it's just a matter of just getting in there and doing it.
I think the modern age of music is a time to be brave.
I do too. Absolutely,
100%. I mean, you've even got to think commercially of like someone like Charlie XCX, that latest album she's putting out with the soundtrack to Wuthering Heights, and the lead song with John Cale or whatever. That's a million miles away from Brat. Away from Brat, right? There's going to be a load of people that go, whoa, that's not Brat.
Right.
That's not dancey, whatever. Great on her. Good. Because, you can't, there's no room for safe anymore, really.
I agree. I agree.
Because otherwise what are you doing? I mean, you just, it's like the Sophomore album, right? People should do away with the Sophomore album, right? And actually, if anyone ever produces an album and the next album is a Sophomore album, it's like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're just replicating what you were before. No,
I've always liked when bands are all over the place, but it still sounds like them. It's like even groups that and that's the thing too about having longevity of your group too. Whereas like now I'm kind of just me again. I've got Yoko. If Dustin wanted to drum on stuff, but it's like I've kind of, I'm rebuilding who's behind me musically, whether that's live or in the studio, and that could change. And I'm kind of like, it's just me with whoever's maybe available in this moment to do this tour, that kind of mentality about it, which is a neat place too. But that shapes the music too, so it's interesting if you have your core people all those years to carry through the albums and you're writing together. It's such a different process.
Yeah.
No. Nowadays, look, we've got this AI stuff coming. I've been digging into a lot of that just to kind of know what's going on.
Oh man,
Wild.
honestly, me and my youngest son the other day literally rocked up a tune in AI in about an hour, and a video. We did a video as well.
Yep.
And trouble is, he loved it because it's like
it's magic.
It is magic, and do you know what I mean? You can put silly lyrics over and like fast changing images, and gosh, all of this stuff. The thing is that the bit about it that I don't like is it sounds, and it's the same as like when people write posts for social media on ChatGPT and other AIs are available. It's that what it doesn't do is it doesn't sound nuanced. It doesn't sound human.
Right.
That's the bit of it that it doesn't get right.
I wonder if it'll evolve to that. But I'm on the side of like, how can I embrace this? I don't necessarily want to adopt it directly.
Do you know what I want to see, Kate? Do you know what I want to see?
What?
What I want to see is artists like you take it and break it. Right? This is the thing I keep saying to people is don't fight it, take it and break it.
That's how I feel about it. Exactly.
Yeah? I want to see people go, right, okay, here's a bit of tech, and if I just feed this stuff into this tech, it does this. But what if bit like years ago when I first discovered like electronic recording equipment back in the 70s. I'm that old.
You don't look it at all.
Well, I am. So, but what we do is we would like plug it all in, we'd record it, and then we'd go, but what if we cut that up? Yeah. What if we now took the fact that this sync's going, woo, and we just go, woo, 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 and then put something over the top, and then it's like, woo, woo, and then it's like, suddenly it's like, yes, now we're playing with it. Right? I want people to do that with AI. I want people to feed the stuff in and then get it out and then go, right, okay, it's doing K-pop or whatever at that thing, but I'm going to turn that K-pop bit into, you know, heavy metal or something, and I'm going to put it through my guitar pedal, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to
exactly. I have some ideas that I'm keeping to myself for a minute, but yeah,
but you understand what I'm saying.
But I totally do, and that's where I'm at with it, because I mean, I think of this back. I mean, you know, jukebox. You used to have live bands in the corner, and then you had the jukebox, and you had the streaming, and you know, electronic music, drum machine instead of a drummer. But drummers still, they don't get gigs like they used to, but you still see drummers. There's a time where I'm going to want a drummer. You know, I had a drummer on a couple tours ago because I wanted a drummer.
Shall I tell you something really interesting, Kate? When you go and look at like early in the UK, we had like all of those great music magazines, and one of the early ones was Melody Maker.
Oh yeah.
Right. When you look at like early, go and Google it later. When you look at early copies of Melody Maker, do you know what was in the charts?
What's that?
Organ music.
Yep.
It was like people covering classic songs, but on an organ. Yeah. Right. So this, and it goes along with this concept that along with AI and streaming and everything else, too many people of my age go, well, there's no good music anymore. It all stopped with Led Zeppelin and right. Yeah. The problem with all of that is that it's just not true. There's
it's not
bountiful amounts of fantastic music. It's just that the access has become so easy that people have stopped learning how to listen, and
that's exactly it. It's exactly
and also it's not, we've taken out the community part of that as well. I mean, when I grew up, you used to go around a mate's house, you'd flick through, you'd spend like the afternoon playing really bad computer games. They were really bad computer games, making homemade beer, flicking through someone's albums, going, what's this like? And they'd go, put it on. And you'd put it on and you'd sit there and you'd listen to it. And there was so much intent in it. And then you'd have to save up your money, work hard, save up your money, go to a record shop, and you'd have to make a tough decision as to which of those albums you were going to buy. It's hard. You spend the whole day in the record shop because you'd be like, this one, that one. What? Nowadays, it's like, play me whatever. And because there's no rub, I've not had to earn that listening experience. I don't value it as much, so it's hard. We just have to get back to community.
That's what I've been kind of pushing too, because even with the couple tours I did this year, you know, they were, you know, I play clubs, and I went on tour with a friend of mine. She's great, Izzy Outer Space. She's a wonderful musician as well. And, you know, it was like I had a bright perspective, because I was coming out of what I was coming out of, kind of a grief state, and I felt good to just be on stage again. But generally speaking, I really try to remember my sense of why, because it's really easy to go on the road and get discouraged. It's really easy to put out a record and not have the the whatever kind of response you're hoping for. And the hoops that we have to jump through to kind of get to a point where it's working for you. And so I just try to remember that, to me, it's about community. It's like, if there's 3 people, like it's so true. I mean, this is an exact example in El Paso on a Tuesday. There's the band's friends, and then there's like 3 people that are just there, right? Mm-hmm. It's a Tuesday in El Paso at a club. I mean, I was like, this is excellent. Like, I try to think of it like we've got a room, you know? And if I can engage with these people on some level, whether it's on stage and that's it, or even just in the room afterwards, like, that's where it is to me, you know? I mean, playing the music's great too, but it's like those little things I try to remember are important as well. And why people that, I don't know, like they're used to maybe walking in and seeing a DJ, which is also cool, but it's just it's a different space. So when you have like real music and people showing up, working hard for it, the room changes.
Totally, you know? 100%. Now, listen, I've got a really fun question for you here now.
Sure.
All right. So last week, I had the great pleasure of meeting one of my idols from when I was a kid.
Oh, cool.
Right, which was Nick Kershaw. I don't know whether if you're not a fan with Nick Kershaw's music, go and look up Nick Kershaw later. Right, he uses a lot of really interesting chord changes. It's very poppy, but a lot of really interesting chord changes.
Digging him out. Okay. Cool.
Okay. And so he had a number of like big top 10 hits and whatever. And he played Live Aid, and he was talking about playing Live Aid and cocking up and all of that sort of thing. But the one story that he told that was really, really interesting was about a song that he wrote, which was a massive hit called The Riddle. Mm-hmm. But it was an accident, right? And I was going to ask you about, have you ever had kind of an accident in a song and it's ended up being the final thing and everybody just loves it, even though it was an accident? Because, so here's the story real quick. The story is he had like 2 weeks to record the whole of the second album. 2 weeks. That's put yourself under pressure there. That's good. Right?
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. He'd put down everything for this song, The Riddle. He'd put down the guitar parts, the bass, the keyboards. He's a multi-instrumentalist, so he'd put down like pretty much everything. I think he had a drummer in that did the drums. And like most musicians, he then put down a guide vocal, but the guide vocal was just like a string of consciousness. It wasn't actually the lyrics that he wanted. He was just looking for sounds and consonants and whatever that went together. But they then didn't have time to finish it because it was the last song they did. So the song that went out, the lyrics are literally just the guide vocal. but everybody picks up on it and went, what does it mean? It sounds great. It's like, what is this riddle? What does it mean? People even tried going around the country and digging up plots of earth, thinking that they would find hidden treasure. That's how cool it was.
I
right?
need to look this up.
Yeah, but it was just the guide vocal. So has there anything ever happened like that to you?
I've been pretty intentional with most things, and I also haven't had the unfortunate privilege of being on a time crunch for a record, you know. So I've always been able to sort of work on my own time. But I have like an accident like that.
A happy accident.
I think the only thing that's really coming to mind is the most recent song that I released, which is called Love from Death. And it wasn't it's a very intentional song, and it came through me in 20 minutes. I wrote that and recorded it in 2 hours. Sans the drums. But anyway, I think it's funny because I felt like I stripped everything back guitar wise, and I put this like almost ambient lead. I wouldn't even call it ambient. It's just lead guitar in the ethers of it, and I thought it was the least gazy thing I'd ever done. At least for me, what I think is gazy. I don't know. Yeah. I use pedals. It definitely has a thick sound, but not to me. It was stripped back, I thought. And everybody's
it wasn't spiritualized. It wasn't slow dive. It wasn't.
No, exactly. I was like, in a way, it was just like, I'm just going to play the song that came through me, and it's a dedication to my friend or whatever. Right. Yeah. And then I just was like, I'm just going to kind of put it out and it's for him and I'm not really putting a lot on it. And I think the response to that was like, so many people loved it and they're like calling it this great shoegaze song and comparing me to all these bands that I like, some I've heard and some like deep cut 90s that I hadn't heard of that I felt so complimented by. And I was like, am I just accidentally doing this now? Like where it's like not, like I'm not trying, if that makes sense, to sound.
That is a happy accident. That's nice. That's a good thing.
You know what I mean? It's like, it was just, it was like, oh, okay. I thought people would respond more to some of the other, you know what I mean? It was just.
I think I think you've made a similar parallel. I think you've made a similar parallel. I think like Nick was generally pretty amazed that what he felt was an unfinished song just went, and everyone went, "That's brilliant." And
yeah, because I didn't put a lot. Like I just like I did it and I committed to the recording, and I was like, I'm not going to put a lot of bells and whistles, so to speak.
You'd finished it. I mean, you were intentional about it. You finished it, but maybe the feedback was kind of bigger than almost.
It was not what I expected.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's lovely. Oh, that's a lovely thing. So. I like that. Perhaps more of those, you know? Perhaps maybe the lesson there is don't be hard on yourself.
I think so too. And I think that's a lot of it where it was like, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm just going to keep writing as they come and give myself a little bit of time to work with them, and then it's done and move on and keep writing. Because I think for me, it's like I've got a lot in me that I want to say musically. And I've had this period of like pause to grieve and figure out what I want to do next and make sure I'm giving them I'm not just, you know, putting them out to put them out. Like I do. I
think you're doing a great idea. It's a great idea what you're doing. Get that drum machine, get some AI, mess it up. Right? And probably you'll just go like suddenly maybe the window will open and whatever, and it will just be like, oh, do you know what? I've actually discovered a whole new thing here, and I can just
the danger of that too.
Oh, it's a
fun world.
It's a fun world. It's a fun world. Look, it's what great music is all about in a way. It is. It's what great music's all about. Yeah. At the same time that it's dangerous because like then you start that and then you don't finish that. But sometimes you just need that, you know.
Well, I want it to come from an inspired, honest place. So if it's not coming from an inspired, honest place, I let it chill and I come over here. If I'm inspired, like the other day, like if I'm writing something, I sat down to do X and I said, I don't feel like it. So I went to my synth and I just riffed on my synth for an hour. That was from an inspired place. So that's why I try to treat my music. Like if I sit down to do something and I come over here, it's still a win, you know? So I'm like, I'll get back to this when it's time. And then later that night, I did all this mixing and mastering, like because I've gotten some playing out of the way and I didn't commit to like being stuck in this forced space. And I just think good things don't come from a forced space.
No.
Well, they can. Not. They can, but not. It's not the same thing, you know.
It's been lovely talking to you today, by the way. Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much for coming on. What are you most looking forward to going into? Because we're nearly there now, 2026. If there's like something that in amongst all of the, let's say, rubbish. That exists in the world in 2025, but if there's something that kind of gives you hope and like, you know, is your purpose for what you take into 2026, what's that?
If I can say it concisely, I honestly feel very calm. I feel very unbothered. I feel a very sense of like I'm running my own ship in a way, and like which I've always done, but I've always been like I'm trying to climb something or get to somewhere or achieve this, or I'm not goal oriented anymore. I don't have this like thing to achieve. So I think for me it's just about, I mean, I want to finish things. I have all these ideas and they'll get done. I think it's just what you said about not putting pressure on self and sort of just letting these things be wildly experimental within a framework that I know I kind of want sound wise, and just enjoying it. Like I feel confident in my ability to just do what I do and book my own shows and hoping some things come along the way, maybe with some agents and different things like that. But in general, I don't have this like, I'm fearless about it in this like very tranquil way where I'm just like, I'm just existing. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And I just want to kind of keep that going into next year when like some of my other artist friends, I feel like get kind of bent out of shape. And I've been there too. And I'm like, you know, these things, you don't need to fear them. Just do what you do and enjoy it. And I think that that's sort of just kind of how I feel about going into this year is like, I'm just going to do whatever I want to do.
Do it. Absolutely do it.
Like,
Now,
and not worry about it.
If I got one challenge, which I'm trying to get like several people that have been on here to do, is the one thing that I am after, and I'm sure that other listeners out there want it as well, is I'd love to get some artists of today doing one track each on a Christmas album, right? But hear me out. But not just covers of like stuff from the past done in like, you know, pastiche colors or whatever, but just something really different. You know, I just think it'd be great if we could have like a flavor of now but Christmas. Like,
it's so due, right? We listen to this stuff all the time every year, and like you get something fresh in there, throw it in the mix.
Yeah, I just like a whole album of like people going, right, can I make a Christmas song that really represents, it's quite a challenge, that really represents like 2025 without it, you know, being a pastiche of the past, and that like really, you know, could be, if we then put those together, could really kind of reflect what Christmas in 2025 actually feels like. You know,
that's an interesting thing.
It is an interesting thing. I'd love to see it. I mean,
I almost want to go do this now because I'm home with my family for the rest of the year. I'm not in LA. I'm here in the Midwest, and it's a different Christmas here than it is there. And so it influenced that a little bit, you know?
Yeah. The reference point that I've been giving everyone, by the way, Kate, is, and I mentioned it on the one of these that I recorded earlier, is the Smith and Burroughs album that was recorded several years back now, which was a Christmas themed album. So that was the guy, that was the singer from the Editors and the drummer from Razorlight did an album. Yeah. I couldn't remember the name of it earlier, folks. I'm sorry about that. But I can now tell you what the name of the album was. It's called Funny Looking Angels. It was 2011. Funny Looking Angels. Go and look it up afterwards. Okay. But it was a beautiful set of Christmas songs that quite morbid at times and whatever, quite socially, politically reflective and whatever as well. But great. Wow. But had that feeling of winter as well. And it was just so well done. I'd love to see a group of people get together and do that. And like, I think I've got probably enough people now with like an alternative bent who could probably put together a fantastic Christmas album. Maybe we could do that and then actually raise money for charity and get it to #1, and then like all of these people that are releasing at Christmas, right, would be like, where did that come from? And it'd just be a beautiful thing, wouldn't it?
I would love it.
Wouldn't that be good?
I'm open to just about anything.
I think that would be nice. You know, maybe we give all the money to people that are on the streets or something. Yeah, we did that. We actually did. We did that. We did that one year. I was involved with a project in Bristol one year that was working with the homeless, and a whole load of artists clubbed together and wrote tracks or donated tracks to an album which was called From the Streets, and all of the money from that went to help homeless people at Christmas time. Just felt, let's do it again.
I tell you what, I get more reward, and it's interesting to make something like that about me, but I mean, it's interesting to me. It's like, I don't know, like I've definitely felt like I've achieved a certain level of finding self from music, to the point now where it's like I really do want to call attention to the things going on and give back in this way. And that's kind of why I'm trying to build this little indie thing I do myself, where I'm like trying to throw my own festival year after year. And it's hard because the community needs it. And like these big festivals, no one can afford them.
Oh,
And it's a tragedy. So these young community, or these young indie things that are happening, I try to give, you know, as much regard to and prop up. And then it's hard. It's hard. There's a lot of things that we're facing that we have to, you know, find a way to survival kicks in a different way.
It is hard. Now. It is hard, but community is where it's at. I've got an online community going. I'll invite you into it after this.
Okay.
There you go. Because I think together we're stronger. There we are.
Yeah, I was going to say, getting together and raising any kind of something for any kind of cause, I think really is just, I'm all in. Because I'm like, I have a hard time just like, here's an album, you know, obviously I want to pay myself back for the investments that I've made, you know, and have some kind of career, you know, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I don't know, I give away a lot of merch. Like a gal was, you know, she just couldn't, her house burned down. I was like, take it all. You know, like, wow. If you like my music, I'm like, she's like trying to pay me for my shirt. I'm like, absolutely not. Like, doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
there you go. No, there you go. Listen, you've been absolutely lovely.
Thanks, Graham.
So you're going to listen to Smith and Burrows. I also one last thing. Very quick question. It's just a yes or no, but then you can go and if you haven't, then you can go and do it. Did you ever hear Liz Fraser's version of Songs of the Siren? That was on. It was on the.
Oh, the
Collective. Yeah, this Mortal Coil album.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Over and over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a monster.
It is.
It makes your skin crawl in the best way.
Do you know what? Everybody that's now heard that little clip will be going, what? I haven't heard that. Go and listen to it now.
Right.
But also go and listen to some Rose Haze as well, please. If you've enjoyed this conversation, go and check out Kate's music now, please. It's as simple as, especially if you're listening to this on the Spotify, where your thumb is now over the screen on your phone. If you move it from there to there, just from there to there, and press, that is the sound of Kate coming out of your speaker, and that's as simple as it gets. And then once she's up on your Spotify or whatever, then add it to a playlist and share it with a friend, and then go and find Kate and tell her how life-changing it is. That's it. So that's a simple request that we have. But also go to her merch site and buy everything.
Woohoo!
And pay for Christmas.
Thank you. Yes.
And if you see Kate in the street, buy her a coffee or a tea or whatever it is that you have, a chai latte thing. All right. That's the way, because money does help. And folks, I've said it before, I'll say it one more time. There's no little pixies in there, or elves, or whatever, or angels making the music. It's musicians. I know you think it's magic, this, and the music just comes out of it. It doesn't. Okay. You have to tell people, because they honestly believe that like little people exist in these things, and that's where the music comes from. It doesn't happen at all. You've been such a pleasure to talk to. Thank you so much for coming on. This has been the wonderful Kate, please, otherwise known as Rose Haze.
I appreciate it. I had fun.
Go and listen to her music. Do support as much new music as you possibly can, folks. And thank you as ever for taking the time out of your busy day, because we know you're busy, to watch or listen to this. We will be back soon with more of the same. But until then, from Kate and I, bye for now.